Today, I'm going to show you what AEO, answer engine optimization, actually means in plain author language, why SEO alone isn't enough anymore, and how you can restructure what you've already done so AI can start quoting you instead of ignoring you. No tech degree is required, no rebuilding your entire website, just smart structure, clear answers, and a few strategic shifts. Let's get into it. Today's topic is it's a new term. It's new something. Um, I'm ready to uh, get all of you like, oh no, what is she teaching us now, kind of thing. So I'm warning you all in advance that some of the terminology and stuff could be overwhelming. Don't let it be overwhelming, okay? Really, seriously, it's easy. It's a lot easier than other things could possibly be. Does everybody see the PowerPoint presentation? Somebody just nod. Yeah? Okay. All right, good. All right, because I have two screens going and I'm trying to figure out where I need to look and everything else. All right, so today what we're going to talk about is AEO. It's a new terminology. It is answer engine optimization. And basically what it is, it's how readers are finding things now, how they're doing search. It's all about search. Before search was you needed to have what they called SEO, which is search engine optimization, which was all based on keywords. And instead of it being with AI now being part of everything, so like if you've used Google or Bing or any of the other search like searching for anything at all, even if you use Alexa, even if you're talking to your phone with Siri or whatever the Galaxy ones are, there's AI embedded in it because they're moving away from the old search engines that were around for 20 some years, and now they're moving to the AI powered ones. And so the structure behind it is instead of before it used keywords, you worried about you had to figure out what is a keyword, what are the keywords that people are using to do the search. Now instead it's more natural in the sense that you can ask a question. Like for example, last night I asked, I need a new cabinet to fit under my like cubby hole in my vanity. And I measured it and it's 22 by 22 by 18 deep. So I could actually say, I need a cabinet with rolling wheels that is 22 by 22 by 18, and I would like it in wood, please. And I just said that to Google, and Google went out and it started coming back with a description of this kind of cabinet, and it came back with, here's the places you can buy it. That was really easy. And I was very grateful as a consumer. Now, what we have to think of is as an author, our consumers are readers, and they have a certain set of questions that they ask about what is the next, either what is the next book that they want to read, what they've heard from somebody talking about, how are they getting this information? And they are getting this information. They're not looking necessarily so much on Amazon because Amazon has become, as a reader, it's a pain in the butt unless you actually know exactly the book title. And book titles, are shared by a bunch of different books sometimes. And even if you put in the author name, sometimes it gives you a whole bunch of other stuff, and if you try to put in a trope, forget it. You get all kinds of garbage. So instead, readers are going back to using Google to find out what is their next, what is that they're looking for. And if your website and everything that you did was dependent on SEO, which is the search engine optimization, you're not going to be discovered. And discoverability, remember, discoverability is the thing that we're all like looking for and everything else. So what I'm going to be talking about today is what is the difference between SEO, what is AEO, how can I use it, and is it going to give me a lot of extra work? And do I have to learn a new acronym that I know nothing about? All right. So I'm going to talk about what is AEO in author language so that you understand what it is that we're talking about here. Okay, so AEO is really structuring your content so that AI and search engines can use it as an answer to the question that the user is posing. The user in this case is a reader is posing. Then the first thing you have to understand is that where are these answers coming from? The answer could be in the Google AI, which is Gemini. It could be Chat GPT. It could be a voice search, which is like if they're using their phone or if they're talking to their computer. It's everywhere. AI is now embedded in everything. So it's like, how are we dealing with it? The shift is, though, instead of it being the SEO is rank mate, because like if you were searching on Google, you only looked at the first page. And so if you were trying to get ranked on the search engines, you wanted to be on the first page, you wanted to be at the top of the first page. Now it's changing from that to quote me. You want to be cited, the CITE, you want to be the reference, the authority, instead of being ranked. An example would be the old way is give me a romantic suspense series. Those are 3 keywords: series, romantic, suspense. Now the question is, which romantic suspense series should I read if I like smart heroines and slow burn romance? That is why you're beginning to see, or I have seen over the last year, is what they call keyword stuffing in the titles of books on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, where they'll say this is a small town, clean romance, best read for summer of 2025. That's not necessarily what readers are actually looking for, but it was the bridge between the old way of putting in the keywords and things and the bridge to what AI is looking for. And so this was an easy way for them to put in there because they weren't putting it in the description, which is where it really should have been in there. You will see that there's more people and more publishers that are adapting, and their descriptions are changing, like they're putting in the trope. They're putting in, if you like this book, if you like this XYZ author, you're going to love this book. If you like these books, you're going to love this book. Okay. So then they'll put the tropes in. There's a secret baby. Some people feel like that's giving it away, but it's not. What it's doing is it is establishing and making it easier for the searching to find this is the answer. This book is the answer to what a reader is looking for. So what I'm going to do is talk about the differences between it. So it being that we're looking for, don't do that. So instead of what we're looking for keywords is that we're actually looking for the answers to questions. About AEO is answer engine optimization. If you think about this, of what I'm trying to do is answer people's questions, then you'll understand how you're going to change your content so that it answers questions. So keywords aren't dead, but they don't have as much importance as they used to have, because now what you have to do is actually focus on answering people's questions and be the citation, because the citation gives you more authority. And so if you ranked page 5 on a Google search, but actually your content is structured in such a way that the AI is going to use it versus trying to pull it from Amazon or Goodreads or somewhere else, then you're going to be ahead of the game. So remember that the readers are asking questions, and if you can give it, if you can guess what the questions are in advance and then structure your like your book page or your series page so that it answers different questions, you're going to be ahead of the game. And there's only going to be a very few, it's going to be a small percentage of people who go out and start changing their websites. And remember, what you own is your website and your mailing list. So, but it's a little bit of work and it's a little bit of understanding, how do I structure this? What is structure? What do I have to do? Do I have to rearrange things? Do I have to write more stuff? I don't have time to do that. But you need to address that. Okay. Sorry. I've got people all over here. Is it going to work? Yay, it did. Okay. So here's how authors are actually using AEO is that they feel invisible. So they're going in and they're restructuring different things. They're identifying the reader questions. Now, I've had authors say, well, what questions are readers asking? And the best thing, the coolest thing that's out there right now is that you can find out what readers are asking by putting on a thick skin and going and reading the comments on your Amazon and Goodreads and other places where readers congregate. Because in their comments and in their reviews, besides the garbage that they put in there, you're also going to see what are the questions they're asking, because they answer the questions in their reviews and their comments. So this is the easiest thing. This is easy to do. It will take a thick, you're not going to always agree with them, but the information is there, and that's great. Now, what you have to do is to turn into questions. So if, for example, somebody said that this was a small town romance with a sheriff, whatever. Okay, so you know, small town romance with sheriff. Those are the things that they're asking. So you want to answer those questions on like the book page. So you're not going to have just a description and the book cover and your bylinks and possibly review snippets and an excerpt. What you're going to do is change the structure into it so that your headlines, here's a small town romance is set with the set in Wyoming. I mean, give more detail of it so that people, and you're doing this and you make sure that you use the headers, which is like H1, H2, H3. And if that confuses you, you can ask me about this later. But it's just how, you don't make it all like default text. And your web person should be able to do this for you as well. And what it will do is that because AI is a machine, and so it's looking at structure. So the most important item that you're putting on there is an H1, which is a header. Okay, it's like the title, like it's a title, like subtitle kind of thing. So you want to put in your title, instead of it being the title of the book, which is usually meaningless to what is the book really, really about. You want to put in here, an FBI thriller set in Wyoming, something like that. I mean, so make it sound better than that, but that's what you're putting in there. So you're like really honing in. So if somebody has a question, I want to read an FBI thriller, and I want it to be in the West. I want it to be in Wyoming. This is what I'm looking for. So you're already starting to answer the questions on the book page. Then you go in and you're gonna use. So what you're doing is you're taking the content that you already have and you're just dressing it up a little bit. It's like you're looking in your closet and you're putting together your outfit for the day, and it's like, what is the belt that I'm wearing? What are the shoes that are going to match? Am I going to use jewelry? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Because we're women and we kind of do this. So what you're actually doing is you're turning your content, instead of it just being you're spewing it out. Here's the book description. Here's where you can go buy the book. Sometimes you put in characters, sometimes you put in a little excerpt, something like that, put in some review blurbs. What you're doing instead is you're actually using your book page as a conversation with the reader to answer their questions about why they should read this book. how it's connected in a series, things like that. And you want to use the structure so that it's clear. So you say, here's the most important part. That's an H1. Here's an H2, are a series of, these are a little bit less important, but still the information is necessary to answer a reader question. Common reader questions are really easy. It's like, what order should I read this series in? What is the heat level? Is this, closed door, open door? Is this a true romance? Are we going to have a happy ever after? Or is this or do they get married? Or are they just going to get engaged? You're going to answer these questions and you're going to put them there. What is this trope? Is it a sunshine grumpy? And which one is that? Is the hero, is it the hero and heroine? Which one is that? Is there a secret baby? You're using you want to really put this out here. And if there's any triggers, you want to make sure that they're spelled out clearly on that book page. Let's see. So there was a real example I put up on the screen. If you can read that, is this beside, I can't read it because it's on my little screen, which is too small for me to read from here. I'm an old lady. But hopefully you can see that. And another thing is that your headlines can be structured as a question. And then your underlying information is there. So it's a work in progress, and you want to replicate the question answer format, because that is what AI is looking for. Because somebody asked it a question and it's like, okay, what are the answers? Let me put it together. And I'm going to show you an example on Google and Bing so that you can actually see a little bit of like what I'm talking about. So the things that you're going to have to change on your website are your author bio. So it's really nice that you are a New York Times bestselling author. It's really nice that you're a Wall Street Journal or a USA Today or Washington Post or some kind of thing. You won all of these contests. You won all of that. That doesn't help anybody. Nobody's asking that question. No reader is asking that question to make a decision of this is a book I want to read or not, or this is an author that I want to read or not. So what you need to do is to, just like you had to when you're getting preached at for marketing purposes on your Instagram and your Facebook, is you need to make your profile something that answers the questions and makes you stand out. You need to, on your own page, make that bio page stand out. Reframe it to answer the question is, who should read books by me? So who you are, what are your themes, what are the tropes that you love, what do you write, what are the different kinds of characters that you write, what are the different kinds of settings you write, what is the different kinds of genre that you write. So you put that into your bio. You can still list that you're represented by XYZ agency and that you've won all of these things. It can be on your bio page, but it should not be at the top of your bio page. It should be down further. Then on each book page, which is going to have your book description, but it's going to now, instead of just being a very flat, here's the title of the book, here's where you can buy the book, here's the back cover copy, you're going to put in like a little FAQ, a little here are the details about it. Here's the character, like not just, you could even describe the hero, the heroine. You could describe the setting. And make it so that you're answering the questions that readers could possibly have about this. And you want it to be very clear before you get to the marketing copy. Series pages are actually, if you're writing series, that is your gold mine. Look on your series page as a gold mine. Don't have it just be series name and a bunch of book covers, because that doesn't help you and that doesn't help the AI know about the series. So what you want to do instead here is to actually write out in words the order that should be read in, what is important about each of the different books, how they are connected. Now, if you don't have like an official series, but your books are all set in a universe that you've created of one sort, it could be contemporary historical, it could be fantasy or not fantasy. Most authors write in a very similar universe. Readers are used to that, and the readers are looking for that. So what you want to do is use that, your what we'll call the series page, to describe this universe, to describe, use descriptive words, use more than that, and then put the books in there. And so that each book is like a little gem that's standing out there, and it's putting it together to make this beautiful necklace. Each is a pearl, and you're making this beautiful necklace on it. And some of them have little medallions that go on the necklace, right? And then what you can do here is for past interviews is it's like if you've been interviewed, you're going to reuse content that's on other places or that you have created. Like if for your marketing copy, you had done an interview with yourself or an interview with a character, you want to put that, but you're going to change it a little bit so that you can see that you're answering questions there. Because when you're answering the questions or you're giving the answers, that's going to be picked up by AI, and that is going to throw you into the description about when people are looking for it. The other thing about, now I'm going to talk about the newsletter archives. One of the things that is, and I'll be honest, I missed this for years, is that, I write a lot of newsletters. Everybody writes a newsletter, even if it's just here's my latest book, buy it. Because usually when you do that, you're putting in a little bit, like what I always say is to put in a dear reader letter, which gives you a little background of why you wrote the book, a little, backstory kind of thing. What you need to do is make sure that your newsletters are archived on your website. So you need to, and I think that every program that's out there now has a way of archiving it. If it doesn't, take a PDF copy, and you want to use PDF. Take a PDF copy and embed it somewhere on your website so that it becomes more searchable and connected to you. And if you need help in doing that, please ask me afterwards, okay? And behind the scenes content is really important. And you could put that on the book page or on the series page, or just if you have like a blog page where you're just talking about, here's what I'm working on, here's what I discovered, here's the rabbit hole I went down in my research, here's an interesting tidbit. Include that and make the connection. Okay, so like if the rabbit hole you went on was on your latest on book 7 that you wrote and published in 2020, put it on that page so that the connection is a little bit closer. So really, you're not writing new content. What you're doing is taking your old content and you're just reformatting it. And that personally, I went, oh, that's better. There's nothing worse than having to rewrite things. And a really important thing is don't try to outthink the AI. Because first of all, they got millions of billions and trillions of pages that they're looking at everywhere, and that they are changing so rapidly, you'll never be able to catch up. And you've got better things to do, like write a new book for me. So remember that clarity always beats cleverness. And make sure that you're not writing for AI. Readers don't want to read AI. They want to read human. They want to read your voice. They want to read your personality. They want to read the way you put words together. They love you. They don't love a machine. Don't try to find all the right keywords because they change so rapidly. I'm trying not to do that. So don't chase them, and don't overproduce the content. Clarity, simple, question, answer, don't be too verbose. Lots of white space, give it breaks and things like that. And don't sound like you're generic. Don't sound like you're just everybody else. Sound like yourself. It's really, really important. Remember, even though we're talking about how are machines finding my information and putting it out there, there's like machines behind the thing. It's still a real human. You are the most valuable part of this. So what you could do this week if you want to start working on this is just update one page. Just pick a page. I would start with your bio because I think that's the easiest thing to start with. Um, look at look at how you picture yourself as a reader and go to who one of your favorite authors and look at their bio and then start thinking about what do you want to say or how do you introduce yourself or how are you introduced, at an event or something like that, um, where the person is describing you and selling you, really selling you to that reader audience. So that's what you want to write in your bio. So you're going to just take your bio and rewrite it. And it's really easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's an easy first step and it's not a huge thing that you have to change. Next thing you could do is answer 5 questions about a single book. So if you want to take, this is like how to create your first FAQ section. And you don't want to come out and say FAQ. You want to really why did I write this book? And here it's setting because I found blah, blah, blah setting interesting. And I learned more about it, or I grew up in Lancaster County, and one of the things I loved about that is the change of seasons. All right. So you're kind of establishing where you are with a certain book and like actually getting into the rhythm of here's a question, here's the answer, how I'm doing this. And the other thing you could do this week is make your book, the latest book or the book that you're working on, easy to discover, easy to recommend. Use the right tags and make sure that you have all of the content that you have for that. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I want to show you, let me see how I can. All right, let us go into Google. All right, so I'm just straight in Google, and I'm going to do who is Lisa Kleypas? Like I heard about Lisa Kleypas. She's somebody in book club talked about Lisa Kleypas. I'm not really familiar with it. I want to know who she is. So I'm just going, and this is regular Google. I'm going in here. Notice how this whole layout has changed, right? The first thing that you're going to get up here is your AI overview. This is what I've been talking about. This is where you want to be. You want your books to show up here. So if, like I said, who is Mary Burton? I want to have all of this. And I want where it's pulled from, the citing. This is like Wikipedia citing this one. We're going to do a little show more here so you can see this. Do you see how it's structured it? It's got a picture. So it's going to pull your picture. It's telling the best place about this. Now, the reason I'm pulling her is that she hasn't had a book out since 2021. So the question that came up in our book club was, did she die? Has she stopped writing? What's the deal here? She was a favorite author, and now she's being picked up by the Julie Quinn editions or something. And so we were looking at this. I'm telling you how readers work. Okay. So there was readers in this group who had never heard of Lisa Kleypas. There are some of us who are going, oh, she's a queen of historical romance, blah, blah, blah. We're doing our thing. So, but as a reader, within all of that, I would have gone and do a little research on my own on it. And I would have asked, who is Lisa Kleypas? So the key details are answering the basic questions that a reader would have, which is like, what is their background? What is their genre? What are their famous books? Their accolades. And if you look at each of those, I'm cursoring over it, you're going to see this is where it's cited from. What you want to do, your objective is that you want to be your website cited, not Wikipedia, not Amazon, not somebody, not Goodreads, for heaven's sake. You want it to be lisaclapis.com, or at least the publisher. You want to be you. You want to be in charge of this. And so what if you can make the AEO work for you, it's going to find you. No matter how small you are, it's going to find you because you have formatted it in such a way that the AI can understand. And that is essentially all I want you to get from this today. Okay. I want you to get how you can win over people, how you can win the discoverability game. And so it's
Got it.
understanding what AEO is. Yes, go ahead.
So the changes we make to our website, like our bio descriptions, all that, that's going to feed into this AI overview. So
Yes.
that's where all the changes happen in the website based on all that you've
Yes.
told us. And then AI will find us.
And then AEO will find it. Yes.
Yeah. Because right now I can't find me. I just checked. So this makes good sense. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And the way it's pulling it is that now if you look down here, I'm scrolling down, hopefully you can all see this, is here's it's come up with what are the other questions people are asking? What kind of books does Lisa Kleypas write? And if I click the little down arrow, I'm going to see this. And it's pulling it from Barnes and Noble. It's not even pulling it from Amazon, right? But remember, Amazon is using AI, Barnes and Noble is using AI, uh, Google Books is using AI. For heaven's sake, Apple Books is using AI. I mean, they're all using an AI agent behind the scenes, and they're all acting the same kind of way. They are, because they're all based on the same principles and stuff, just like SEO was. So here she writes historical romance. Well, I also know she writes contemporary romance. And then it threw in some other stuff. She has a distinction of being a Miss USA contestant in 85. Then it also has like, here's some of the books that she's written, and that came from Barnes and Noble. Um, Now I'm like, as a curious reader, I keep going, oh, like, where is she now? Well, she lives in Washington with her husband, got the husband's name and their two kids. I think her kids are probably maybe not living there anymore because they're older and everything else. But they pulled that from Wikipedia. They even know who the literary agent was, so the last that one that she had, uh, about her site. And the thing is about her site is that this is the last time I checked it, it had the site. Okay, her site is back. It was on for a while. Um, and so here information is that, you can see this. I think this is, yeah, is pulling that. So all of this information is not like you didn't use a search engine or something like that to do it. And I'm going to show you now. Let's see. Same thing on Bing, which is the other, it's like the also ran search engine. We're going to use the same thing, and we're going to say who. Okay, I can't spell. Who is Lisa? Okay, you see, it has the same kind of layout. They're all the search engines are going to the same kind of layout. And if you were to ask Alexa, they would read this to you, you know? So the thing, and if you ask Siri on your phone or whatever, it would read it to you, or it would show you a truncated part of this. So people are doing this. I mean, this is the whole thing is that do you really want to know who Lisa Kleypas is? Oh, because I spelled it wrong. It could even look at that. It even corrects it for me. She was an American writer. It gives you an overview, books and genres. This is all AI generated. It just doesn't say AI like the other one did. And it does the same thing, but it's pulling it from Wikipedia again, because Wikipedia is formatted in such a way that it asks a question and answers it and gives the answers. And so it's structured in such a way that the machines behind the things can find it. it's doing the same citing, except now we've got something else like, uh, and here's something pulling from Goodreads about it, biography, and then it's like little articles that is coming. So it has all of this stuff, but it's pulling it, and you site. Okay, does anybody have any questions? I mean, I know that this is kind of overwhelming, and I'm trying to make this as clear.
So if I take your questions that you brought
Mhm.
up and I take my current bio and I put it into ChatGPT and say, please write this to maximize the SEO or the search engine. I
Yeah,
mean,
you want to
that's a
say AEO.
start.
Start it
AEO.
with, yeah, don't put SEO, put AEO.
Okay. And by doing that, it will bump us up in the searches
Yes,
on the overall web. Okay.
on
And
the
do it for
overall web. And
each
you have
book.
to, yeah, and do it for each book.
Okay.
Do you have an
Uh,
example of a bio that you've done this to, that you could do this to? Because
yes, I started to put that together because I am going through, and on Fresh Fiction, we are working on making all of your book pages AEO efficient. Like we're putting the tropes on there. I mean, we have over 200,000 books, so trust me, this is going to take a while. Um, and I'm doing it for free. So I'm only doing it for paid customers first. But what we're doing is that we're doing that because we want to be bumped up as a reference instead of it being Wikipedia or Goodreads or something like that. And the more that I learn about what AEO is requesting, um, it's just kind of a changing of how it's the same data. It's just reformatting it.
okay.
But it's understanding, oh, I got to give answers, which means I got to come up with questions. And so I've got to figure out, well, what is the question? And what I was just like really amazed at is that, oh, for your books and stuff, all I have to do is go look at the comments on Amazon of what, the good comments, not the ones, I love this book. That doesn't help me. But they're little descriptions. And I'm like, oh, I can discern from that. Or I could even just take a whole bunch of comments and throw them into AI and say, what are the questions readers are really asking here? And AI will tell me, which is, I'm like, oh, okay, that was a first start. That's what was a good start.
Do you have a template for how you are updating these pages? Like, these are the questions I'm going through, and this is what I'd like to see
I
for.
am working on that. I am
Okay.
definitely working on that, and I will be happy to share it.
Yeah, that would be helpful so I could have a consistent format.
Yeah.
A roadmap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I couldn't for a long time, like I would go to a series page and it would just be a bunch of covers. And I'm like,
Doesn't make.
moving on. I have to get somebody else to tell me which ones. Uh,
And how did she end up with her picture? Because did she change something in the website to tweak it so her picture popped up? Because
no, her picture popped up because somebody labeled you put any picture out there, you always want to make sure you're using the alt text. So
okay,
that is a combination and you do that and they're pulling it. So like when you do an image search and it's taking the one that is the most real that has so each website behind the scenes, this is techie stuff. Behind the scenes, each website has rankings like is their data good? Is is it accurate? Does it answer questions? This all started back with SEO, okay? That you wanted to be ranked. So that's why you don't want to give up on SEO. You don't want to give up on keywords and you don't want to give up on the links. Like if you like for example, if you do a blog post with us, you want to make sure that we make sure that we have hidden SEO terms for it where it has your name, it has the fresh fiction name, it has the book that's referenced in that blog post, and all of that. And those are considered the keywords that are searched by the robots, the little robots that have been running around for, 30 years, as long as the internet's been out there. And it has categorized those. Okay. So you want to make sure that it's a combination of those keywords now with it's answering the question that is being posed to AI. And the way AI works, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the way AI works is it took the large language, whatever it's called, is how English words are found next to each other, which is why AI is only English right now, because each language, the way words are structured is different. So as humans, we're used to, that's why I can kind of guess what the next thing is that you're going to write, because it has scanned and put in there and processed how things are like in relationship to each other. So that's what an answer really is that, like, who is Lisa Kleypas? Well, the who is something, and usually who is next to is, and then there's something else, like, who is a dog? Cats are that. Golden retrievers are wonderful rescued, Do you see where I'm going with this? This is, so now what doing, instead of before, it was just keywords: golden retriever, golden dog, cabinet. But when you give it more information, it's like, oh, now I got to match this up against a phrase. I'm matching it against a phrase versus I'm matching it against a single entity. So what you want to do is structure your content so that you can answer questions. And that's why putting a question on your website as a headline gets you ahead of the line of how this question is answered into machines. So you're making it work less hard.
So it's your first hook. The question is your hook into the, it helps with search engines. So that question on your homepage is your hook. It's your first hook into the website. Plus it helps the search engines.
Yes.
It's like a newsletter. You have to make sure that subject line is interesting so people will open your newsletter.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have been studying a couple of there's a couple of AI experts out there who are putting out prompts and things, so like how to make your site more AI friendly, or how to answer the AEO. And some of them work and some of them don't work. So I'm judging them. I'm trying that. Oh, there's people in chat. I haven't looked at chat. Let's see. Well, Amber, somebody out there has said that you're a journalist. And so something is out there. It used to say mystery and science fiction author, but Libgen's got my story like, okay. Then maybe, Amber, you need to write something more about that workbook, about, like, if you're a novelist looking for help in XYZ, then this is the book for you, and then start answering the questions for it in like I would use like an interview format where it has the question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, but you're not actually saying, these are my questions and answers. You want to be explicit, but not explicit. You don't want to say FAQ, because that kind of turns people off. But what you want to do is like, here's the format, here's the structure I'm using, is that I'm posing a question as a headline, and here I'm answering it in this paragraph or 2 paragraphs or whatever. And if you're on Substack, you will see that the ones that are succeeding are the ones who are using this structure. And the ones that are being, I love to say this, scraped by Google. Not all Substack newsletters are being scraped by Google, and Google is important because, Substack is a closed environment. If you're putting and any place that you put your email, your newsletter or whatever is a closed environment. So you have to push people to it, to find it, etc., kind of things. So that's why you want to use a structure that, it can be scraped by the different robots that are out there. Mary's going, oh God.
Now I'm trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand it. Like, how do you reconfigure a Substack? Is it with, because I do like the hook and the header.
Mhm.
I use the prompts to write the body of it that you'd given us last month or the month before.
Yeah.
And it works. I'm getting more engagement. And I'm getting more engagement in my newsletter. I'm getting people, because I'm now asking them questions and they're responding, which kind of surprised me. So now I'm just trying to figure out how would I do it differently if I want to get scraped by Google on Substack. I mean, what would be the change? It would be
Well, you're not putting your newsletter on Google or in Substack, are you?
no, it goes out to my readers, and then
Right.
I have Chat GPT rewrite it for Substack, and then I
Okay.
post
Yes,
it
then
on
you are putting it on
Substack.
Substack. All right. So
Yes.
when you have AI rewrite it for Substack, this one I have found it works, is to say, write it for Substack. I want you
Mhm.
to use AEO structure
Okay.
and the rewrite. And it will start to do this. It will start to make your headline. And then when you put it over on Substack, go through Substack and have H2 instead of it all being one big default.
Mhm.
So like it does little headings and make sure that they're all H2 because it's going to
H2.
automatically H2. Um, Let me show you.
Yeah. What is H2?
H2 is heading 2.
Okay.
Okay. What is
See,
Substack?
Substack is
So
it's just
no.
it's a repository for a bunch of newsletters. Okay, here I'm going into Substack. Let's say that I
But
am
it's got
creating.
a different vibe to it than newsletters.
Yeah,
Um,
it's trying to incorporate both like Twitter because it has chats and stuff that can go on around the scenes. You can also get people to pay you for it, although you'd have to
right.
be really,
No.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
whatever. And I like you, I put my stuff out here when I remember it. Okay, let's say that I'm actually doing a text. Okay, so here, this title, that's your H1. It's going to automatically make this a H1 on your title. Um, the subtitle is going to be an H2 automatically. But let's say I'm starting to write. Okay, that is actually like I just highlight it and I go up here to where the style is
Mhm.
and I make it H2. You see here? So it's normal text, which is what it's going to default everything to. But you want to have a header 1, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. Think of this, the biggest font is going to be heading 1. Heading 2 is like the second biggest, the third biggest, etc. It's like this is the order of precedence. Your
Okay.
website should also be using H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. Most, because that is what the machine is looking for. It's the sentences are put into the different the different headings, and it's like there's um so you want to go ahead and change this. Let me see. I did you guys will see how I work. Closed my word. So let's open the word again. Okay, let's make it big. All right, I'm gonna open one of my I put everything in Word first. So uh, really going to be like this, aren't you? Okay, here's one. Here's my picks from 23. So I wrote this based on, this was my family last week's or week before that, Family Friday. So this is my headline. This was my subhead. This is my H1, whatever. So when I went to copy this, I just took all of it and I copied it and I went over into my Substack. Sometimes it helps if you actually like see how things work. Okay. So that's garbage. All right. So I wanted actually this to be my title. So I just took it and copied it and I put it up there and title it. And I know that that's an H1 because I just know that. And then this is my subhead. So I'm moving it and I'm putting it in the subhead. Now, because I brought this over from Word, if I look at this, I look up its style, and the style for this is normal text. I don't want this to be normal text. I want this to be a subhead. So all I have to do is I'm just highlighting the little pieces that I want to make stand up a little bit more. Okay, so I'm doing this that's why I do it in Word and I copy it over here and I go, okay, now I'm going to format it. So I'm changing this to a heading 2 because that's going to be picked up. And you notice that it changed the font and everything. And that's in Substack and you don't have to mess with
Okay.
this. Okay. Now, my second section was from the playlist corner. So I'm going to go ahead and change that also to an H2, right? So you're just taking your
Gotcha.
newsletter, you're dumping it over here, and now you're like, okay, now I got to format it real fast. And if you notice,
Gotcha.
it's not going to, it doesn't take a whole long time to do it. So here is the playlist. Um, and then that was it. So it was
How
just
did you,
this one only had 2 subheads, and then it was the description about. So if you think of the subhead as this was the question and answer. So like the question for the area is, what is today's fresh pick book? And it was Anne of a Different Island by Virginia Cantrell. Okay. And then I answered the question of why is it today's pick? Well, it was because it was inspired, blah, blah, blah. We wrote this, thing about this. And I have a little question here. And here, if you want to go back to my source material, which is our website, you could read our whole description on why we picked this book. Okay. And then my second thing is because my fresh picks I'm just describing why I put on Substack is that please go to Fresh Fiction because here are our picks of the day. Every day we do new picks because we're trying to, get more people to come in and look at the different things. And because unlike your websites, ours changes every single day. So I'm trying to here, point here, point here, point there. So this was a author guest blog post, and what she did was a curated list. This is Heather Kaufman, and she gave us her playlist for her book. So I went ahead and I linked to the playlist on Spotify, and then I just did a summary of her her blog post was like 700 words or whatever, put it in there. And then I put in, a little bit more about it. And the link is there so they can leave Substack and go and look at it. And then I just do a summary of kind of like what we were talking about in this. But the formatting part that was really important is that I put in the H's, I put in the headings
right.
so that they are picked up. And see, it's very easy to do once you recognize, oh, I don't want everything to be default text. I want it to here's here's how I stand. This is the important part because sometimes the scanning of this would just take all the H's. It would just take H1, H2, H3. Like if you're doing
Right.
a document in Google or something like that, you'll see it has the tabs and things like that. And it's the structure. So this is the structure. And
How do
remember,
you,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'm
No.
going to forget. How did you add your image to your Substack? Because yours looks really cool and polished, and mine just looks like an image I slapped into Substack. Um,
Okay.
Sorry, this
When,
is like you're my one
no,
resource,
okay, here, see up here where it says insert image,
right?
then I just put it in there. Um, let
But how
me,
did you get the words on your picture? Like Suspense Monday, Fresh Picks, or
okay, let me see. Let me insert this.
sorry.
So, oh, I did that in Canva.
Oh, you do it in Canva and then drop it in?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then when I drop it in, let me see. Let's see, that would have been last week. Uh, here's the snow street that I used, and then I dropped that into Canva. Uh, I do a lot of work.
I know.
You get to such a point. The thing is about when I use the chat, okay, here's my fresh pics. This is
Okay.
not the same one.
That's okay.
So
It's
yeah, so what I did for this is as I just said, okay, in this one, it's the book, and then I'm actually being nice and putting the author picture there, so it's kind of like a
right.
double, it catches their attention. Um, and then like if I pick this book, this is not correct, but when I'm burying it in here, okay, so you can see it.
Right.
So this was an interview. This was our movie. We had a movie review, so we did that the moment, and then this was our fresh pick. But what I want to do here is, you see the three dots at the top here?
Yes.
This is where you
Okay.
put in edit alt text.
Text. Okay.
That is where that is going to say what this was about. And
Okay.
it's going to be here, I would just say fresh pick slash the unwritten rules of magic by Harper Ross. And then you can write a whole bunch here. You
Right.
could write your first paragraph all over again. But I know I want this picked up by the machine. So I
Right.
want them to make the connection with this image that I made, right? So
Right.
I would have gone through here and I list all of those different things. And then when I save it, nobody sees this except for the machine behind the scenes. It's in the source
Okay.
code. The other thing you want to do here is you can decide if you want to add a caption or not. Now, a caption is going
Right.
to show up here. So I would put add the caption is going to show up down here. And this is going to be our fresh picks in book, a playlist, and film review. Now, of course, I can't type. Oh, my U is dying. I can't believe my U is dying on my keyboard. Anyway, and so when the machine is looking at that, it might say, "Oh, this we're looking for fresh picks. Here's the authority that it had this at the top of it, uh, in the header and all of that." So it uses all of that information. So you never want to put a picture out there somewhere or in your newsletter that you don't use the alt text to describe what it is. And it used to be in the old days, like 10 years ago, that you were limited by the space for the alt text. But now I've seen people put in they've repeated their whole newsletter in there. So it's like really, uh, it takes all that data. And also, if you're using, if your information is being scraped by what's it called? Accessibility reader for like a blind person or somebody like that, when it hits the image, it's going to read that alt text to the person listening to it. So it doesn't hurt to repeat that. So like if there's a point that you want to get there. So you want to make sure on your website that when you put up your book covers, you're also putting the whole title of the book in there. I would start to go back there and in my alt text put the genre of the book and the trope of the book in there as well. Okay, so the nice thing about Substack is it's free and it has a closed environment and it does a lot of like pushing things out there. And they pay money to Google and stuff to get their stuff scraped. So that's like a good thing.
Okay, thank you.
I think you're going to need to do a
Yes.
Substack website webinar. Do a Substack webinar.
Oh, you want a Substack webinar? Oh
Yeah,
my
'cause this
God.
was
Is there anything you don't want?
I know, right? Teach me everything. Because
Okay,
I've
I
seen
can do
people say,
that.
join my Substack. And I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I don't have time to learn it right now. But if you'll teach me, show me. But not today. But this has been great.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah,
information.
if you're going to do the work and you can just add in a little alt text or headers and it gets it more noticed.
Yeah, that I mean
Yeah.
that right there is like I didn't even know you could that we had
Yeah.
to. I didn't know. I didn't know we didn't know that.
Yeah, it's changing pretty fast though.
Yeah. Because I know when I put
It is.
pictures on my website asks for alt text. I didn't quite know what to put there, so I just kind of described what the picture was. But now I know. Put the trope and the genre and the whatever.
Sarah,
Yeah, because
you
you can
go
put
back?
more information in there, and the more information you put there, there's so much behind the scenes that happens, like what they used to call the meta tags and things that the more information that you add, the more it can be scraped and used by machines behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Sarah, can you go back and edit your existing Substack articles to add that alt text to images?
Yes, I think so.
Well, I'll try that because I have quite a number of Substack articles, and if I can go add alt text to it, then maybe it'll get more noticed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.